Good morning everyone. Myself I am Deepika, working as an assistant professor in CSE department at Vignan Lara Institute of Technology and Science. In this semester I am dealing with object oriented programming language through Java. Object oriented programming language through Java. Okay, let us continue with the next first topic, procedure oriented programming language and object oriented programming language. Okay, before going to know procedure oriented object oriented programming language, let us see what is procedure oriented programming language and what are the drawbacks of procedure oriented programming language. Then only you can easily understand object oriented programming language. Okay, in procedure oriented programming language, what are the examples of procedure oriented programming language? COBOL, Fortran and okay, these all are examples of procedure oriented programming language. Okay, so in procedure oriented approach, the problem is looked at sequence of things such as reading, calculating and printing. Okay, so reading, calculating and printing. Okay, for example, a program collects the data from user, reading. So if any calculations are there, it performs some kind of calculations, calculating. So finally we can displaying result on the screen, printing. So I will clarify you through the program. So for example, in C programming language, # include stdio.h. So next one, main function int main. Next one we can for example, so we can declaring variables int a comma b comma c. So printf, enter two numbers. So next one, scanf. So we can read two numbers from keyboard, %d, %a, comma, %b. So next one, we can add two numbers, c equal to a plus b. Next one, finally we can displaying on result, printf. The sum of two numbers is %d/n comma c. So next one, return 0. So we can close it. So all of you look at these. So for first in C programming language, what will happen? So first we can declaring header files, # include stdio.h. It is a header file. Okay, next one, main function. So C is collection of functions. So main is also a one type of function. So int main returns the integer type data type. So after main we can open the curly braces. So next thing is we can declaring variables. Here I am declaring three variables, A, B, C. These three are integer type data types. So next one, printf. Printf is a output function. What we have to declare inside the printf with displaying on the console. So for example, enter two numbers. So it is a string constraints. That's why it is enclosed with double quotes. Next one, scanf function. It is a input function to read input values from keyboard. So here, so what is our aim? So write a C program to add two numbers. Okay. So finally displaying on the sum. So c equal to a plus b. It is calculation. Next one, we can displaying result. So printf function, printf the sum of two numbers is %d/n comma c. Next one, here I am declaring integer type data type with these three are variables. So in these main is a function, it returns the integer type data type. That's why I am including return 0 in the last statement. So we can close the all braces. So here, so in procedure oriented approach, the problem is viewed sequence of things such as reading, calculating and printing. Okay, so the reading and calculating, printing can be written in a program as three different functions. So here printf is the output function, it is one function. Next one, scanf is a function. So main is also a one type of function. So here printf is also a function. So C is collection of functions. Procedure oriented programming languages are collection of functions. So in this scanf function, so we are reading input data from the user. So we can mainly focus on. So remembering these points, procedure oriented programming languages, what are the examples of procedure oriented programming languages? C. C is collection of functions. Okay. Okay, so actually in procedure oriented programming language, we are writing number of instructions, but computer to follow these instructions into group known as functions. Okay, so in the previous slide already I explained you main, printf, scanf. Okay, so these all are collection of functions. So we can mainly focus on functions. Okay. So main program, okay, main method. Next it can be divided into function 1, next one function 2, next one function 3. Okay, here main program is one function. It can be divided into 3 sub functions, function 1, function 2, function 3. Okay, so C is collection of functions. Procedure oriented programming language means functions. Okay, so here one figure is displayed. It is nothing but collection of functions. Okay, so it is a typical structure of procedure oriented programming language. So we have to divide our programming into number of functions or multiple functions. Okay, so while we are developing on the multiple functions, so we can concentrate. Okay, so multiple functions share the global data. For example, in C programming language, okay, many of data items are placed with global. Okay, so these global data can change one function to another function. Okay, so here, so all of you look at these figure. So here we have declaring 2 global variables, global data 1 and global data 2. So in this figure, we have to define 3 functions, function 1, function 2 and function 3. So function 1 has some local data, function 2 has some local data and function 3 has some local data. So in this diagram, we are using global variables. So function 1 may uses the global data 1 and function 2 may uses the global data 1. Function 2 also uses the global data 1. So in similar way, global function 1 also uses the global data 2 and function 2 uses the global data 2 and function 3 uses the global data 3. So while we concentrating on development of functions, so we can very little attention data that are being used in various functions. So for example, we can defining one global variables int a equal to 10. So next one main function. So in this program we are using 3 functions, function 1. So next one function 2. Next one function 3. Okay, so in this example, A is a global variable. So how can you say it is a global data or global variable? So any variable can be defined part of the program could be called as global variable. So function 1 also may uses the global variable A, function 2 may uses the global variable A, function 3 also may uses the global variable A. So here we have 3 functions. We can easily identify which function is used in which global variable. For example, we have 100 functions. So it is difficult to identify which function is used in which global variable. Okay, so it is one of the drawback of procedure oriented programming language. So I will explain you with respect to the program. So let us consider this program. So first see hash include stdio.h. So first we have to defining header file. I think you have studied C programming language in 1.1. You have familiar with how to write a code, how to define a variables. So next one, we have defined 2 variables. Int a equal to 10, int b equal to 20. So next one main function, int main. Okay, so next one we can defining one variable, int c equal to 30. Okay, we have closed. Another we have so for example, we have to displaying these 2 variables on the console. We have to write a printf statement. printf slash n the value of a equal to a the value of a equal to percentage d comma a. Okay, next one, in similar way we have to displaying b value on the console. So printf slash n the value of b equal to percentage d comma b. Okay, next we have to take another function, for example void test. In this program I am changing the global variable, for example a equal to a plus 1. So finally we can displaying on the result. So printf the value of a is percentage d comma a. So we have to close the braces. It is a user defined function. Main is the predefined function. So whenever we have to declaring user defined function after main, we have to tell the compiler. So I have to mention the function prototype in before main. Void test. Okay. So I think you are familiar with the functions. So when will function could be executing? So whenever we can call the function could be executing. So in the main method we have to call the function. Okay, we have to call the function. Yes, so we can close the main method. Okay, so all of you look at this program. Okay, so we have defining header files. Next one, in this program int a equal to 10, b equal to 20. These two are global variables. These two are global variables. How can you say it is a global variable? Any variable can be defined before main part of the program, could be called as global variable. Okay, next one, int main. So main is a function, it is a predefined function. So int is equal to 30. Okay, in the previous diagram, okay, every function have some local data. Okay, so it is a main function have some local data, int is equal to 30. So it is local to the main. So what is the scope of local variable? Only within the function can access. So what is the scope of global variable? Anywhere in the program we can using global variable. Okay, so next one we can displaying the values on the console. So print of the value of a equal to percentage d comma a. So in this statement what is the output? For example, in the declaration stage already I initialize the value a equal to 10. So it displaying on the console 10. Next one, print of the value of b equal to percentage d comma b. So in the declaration stage I can declaring the value b equal to 20. So next one I am declaring another function void test. Test is the function, void is the data type. Okay, so in this function I am changing global variable value. Okay, here a equal to a plus 1. So already what by default in the initializing, what is the value of a? 10. So here a equal to a plus 1. So we can displaying on the screen. For example, printf is the output function. So printf the value of a equal to percentage d comma a. So in this statement, what will be the output? 11. Okay. So by the initializing stage a equal to 10. So in this function, okay. So I modified the a variable. Okay, a is the global data. Global data may vary from one function to another function. Okay, so it is one of the drawback of procedure oriented programming language. Okay, global data can change one function to another function. Okay, this is a user defined function. So I am declaring user defined function in after main. That's why it tells to the compiler function prototype can be defined before main part of the program. But when we execute the function, whenever we can call the function could be executing. Okay. drawbacks of procedure oriented programming language. So first one is understandability, okay, due to the complexity. Okay, so for example, I am developing one game application, okay, through C programming language. Okay, in software scenario, I am the team leader of the project. So I am developing one game application. So based on some reasons, I resigned the job. One new person came and entering into the project. So if any modifications are needed, first of all, he should understand the program. Okay, because C is a collection of programs. Large programs are divided into smaller programs. So in this game application needs 1 lakh statements. Okay, so it is difficult to understand when new person entering into the project. Okay, so it is one of the drawback of procedure oriented programming language. Next one is security. Okay, security is a drawback of procedure oriented programming language. Okay, in the previous slide, I explained you already. So global variables may change one function to another function. Okay, so in this previous program, A, B, these two are global variables. So in the initializing stage, displaying the value 10. So after we can modify the A value, A equal to A plus 1. So what is the output of that program? A 11. So global data can easily change one function to another function. So next thing is reusability. Okay, so procedure oriented programming language does not support the concept called inheritance. Okay, through inheritance concept, so we can reduce the source code. Okay, so for example, so I am developing two applications. So mobile hospital application or any banking application. Okay, these two applications person is the same. For example, if any case, okay, so I need the code person properties, it is not possible in procedure oriented programming language because reusability is not available in procedure oriented programming language concept. Okay, these three are drawbacks of procedure oriented programming languages. So next thing is object oriented programming languages. So why object oriented programming language concept was introduced? Okay, so in procedure oriented programming languages, drawbacks are there. So the main motivating factor in the invention of object oriented programming language is to remove some of the drawbacks of procedure oriented programming language. Okay, so WOOP treats data as a critical element. Okay, so it does not allow freely from one function to another function. So in procedure oriented programming language, data can easily move one function to another function. Okay, but in object oriented programming language, okay, so it ties the data more closely to the function. Okay, so it protects from accidental modification from outside objects or outside functions. Okay. Okay, so WOOP allows the decomposition problem. So number of entities is called objects. Okay, procedure oriented programming language means collection of functions. Object oriented programming language means collection of objects. Okay, so here we have to consider two objects, object A and object B. Object A have some data and functions. Object B have some data and functions. Okay, next one, object A will communicate with object B or else object B will communicate with object A. Okay, so this is object A and object B. So object A has some data and functions. For example, in a student point of view, what is the data of student, student number, student name and so on. So what are the functions of student object? So we can calculate student average and total. These two are functions of student class. Okay, so object A will communicate with object B. So for example, so in object oriented programming language, it ties the data more closely to the functions. For example, object A, okay, so object A, data of object A can be accessed functions of object A only. Okay, object A data cannot be accessed functions of object B. Okay, so understand this point. Okay, however, functions of one object can be accessed functions of another object, but data of one object cannot be accessed another object. So we can providing the security for data in object oriented programming language. Okay, so next one. Okay, I will explain the program. For example, we can declaring two classes. So class A, class A. So I can declaring one variable, private int x equal to 10. So next one I can defining one function void increment. So A plus plus, we can close the brace, we can close the class name, we can close the class braces. Next we can defining another class object. So here we can defining one variable int y equal to 10. So in these also I am defining the same function void increment. We can creating object A obj equal to new A. So for example, obj dot A equal to A plus 1, x plus 1, obj dot x equal to x plus 1. So we can close the all braces. So all of you look at these program. So we are defining two classes or two objects. So class A. Okay, so in the class here I am declaring one variable x equal to 10. Here x is the variable. At the time of declaration stage I am initializing the value. So it is a private access specifier. Okay, so it is a private access specifier. Okay, in C programming language access specifier concept is not there. So Java supports the access specifier. So it is a private access specifier. Next I am defining one function increment. Sorry, it is x plus plus. Okay, so we can increment the x value. So we can next I am defining another class B. So in this class also I am defining one variable int y equal to 10 or 20 anything. So next one in this class also I am defining increment function. So next one we can creating object of class A obj equal to new A. So for if I am accessing class A data. Okay, so this is data of one object. Okay, so x equal to 10. Okay, this is data of A object. Okay, so it is the data of B object. Okay, so in this diagram, so object A data can be accessed functions of object A only. Okay, so data of object A cannot be accessed object B. So in this diagram I am restricted the data. So it is a private access specifier. So what the private access scope is only within the function can access. Okay, so in for example in the B object I am trying to access the class A data. So it could not be updated because so A is the data of object A. Okay, so object A data cannot access object B. So however functions of one object can be accessed functions of another object, but data of one object cannot be accessed another object. Okay, so functions in these object also I am declaring increment. So in these function also I am declaring increment. So functions of one object can easily access functions of another object, but data of one object cannot be accessed another object.